Lined by sun-bleached logs on sandy beaches, the Puget Sound area is well known for its stunning landscapes. However, its beauty comes at a price. A network of fault lines underneath the Seattle Basin is poised to unleash a 45-second-long earthquake that would collapse old buildings and damage our most critical infrastructure, the electrical power grid, leaving people and emergency response teams in the dark. Geologist Brian Sherrod explains how the beauty of the Seattle Basin is tied to the danger.
So right now we're standing on the very northern tip of the Seattle fault zone. It's a thrust fault, dipping to the south and thrusting to the north, and so we're standing on the very tip of it. Everything beneath us, we're standing on the lip of this thing. Everything beneath us is part of the southern part of the Seattle Basin, and the basin extends all the way to the north. So the furthest, most distant land you see in the picture here is part of the Seattle Basin. So during an earthquake, seismic energy enters this basin, and the waves actually slow down when they enter the fill within the sediments and the soils within the basin. And as a consequence of them slowing down, the amplitude gets bigger. The other thing that happens to the energy within the basin is it gets in the basin and it reverberates around the basin. And so that makes the seismic shaking last a little bit longer. Our built environment includes Seattle, Bellevue, and all the cities between Seattle and Everett to the north. All of that sits on top of the Seattle Basin and is subject to these amplification and reverberation effects from the seismic energy. So if you look to the north, you'll see that ferry, large white boat to the north. Everything behind that is part of the basin, and everything to the south of that, including just where we're standing, is part of the fault zone.
The biggest threat to the area is the Cascadia subduction zone. At approximately 700 miles long, the fault line could release a magnitude 9 earthquake off the west coast, and a tsunami would follow. Division Chief of the Everett Fire Department, Brent Stainer, says in that scenario, his city would struggle to keep up with the demands for emergency response.
We would be competing for resources with cities and even states all on the West Coast. So that would be a real challenge for us to get the resources we need to solve the problems that we do have.
Since recovery will be challenging, seismologists are trying to develop an early warning system for first responders. A few seconds could save millions of dollars in damage and allow people the time to seek shelter.
First thing I want to reiterate with everybody is that the initial actions everyone needs to do is to drop, cover, and hold. Certainly during an earthquake, we want to make sure that we keep ourselves as safe as possible from any debris that might be falling from our ceiling or shelves. So our firefighters are going to drop, cover, and hold. They're going to stay there until things have stopped shaking, and then we have a set order of instructions that the firefighters have. Initially, they make sure that the entire crew is safe, and they do a quick lap around the station to check the integrity of our fire station. They also take a look around the neighborhood to see what the initial neighborhood looks like. Are we seeing that there's buildings collapsed? Are we seeing that there's any injuries, any smoke plumes from the sky, anything like that? After that, our initial task is to get all of these fire apparatuses out of the fire station in case there's an aftershock that might disable our doors. So we open the doors and we get all of our apparatus out, and you can see that all around you there's several different pieces of apparatus. We have a big ladder truck right here that is staffed by a crew of 3, and the other side of that's actually another fire engine. I have fire engine 3, which is right next to us here, medic 1, all of these are in service vehicles right now.
While first responders, including police officers, emergency operators, hospital staff, and firefighters, have different roles to play in the recovery process, there is one thing they all need: electricity.